All right, I'm doing a reading right now on something that I've been thinking about lately, and you can see it everywhere. There is an effort to normalize genocide, to dehumanize people, demonize, I guess, right? But it's like to take away the humanity of a group of people, so then it's okay to murder them because they're not people. And it's happening all over. And it's just this huge wave. And I know that this has been happening since recorded history, at least, but it seems to be getting a huge boost. So, what I want to look at is, where does this come from? Like, what is this energy? Where does it come from? And, like, how is it fed? So, just this energy, the energy that is trying to make it seem like genocide and murder of people is okay. So, what do we get? Well, the main card here is the Chariot. And as I look in this card, I mean, number one, there is focus and moving forward. It shows direction and like clarity of direction. But there's also just a machine aspect to the Chariot here. And maybe it is in some way linked to like the industrial energy. And here, the root card is the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups, this is like the solution. Now, that is actually at the root, showing that that energy is in here somewhere. And the main card is the Chariot. Now, I'll put a card on either side. Let's see where the Chariot is coming from. And where does that Chariot go? Okay, so coming from the Eight of Pentacles, moving toward the Seven of Cups. Now, this goes right back to this industrialization thing that seems to be linked here. Um, the Eight of Pentacles, this is like someone in a workshop. It just has a very industrial feel to it. But just at its face value, the Eight of Pentacles is about making the thing that you're really good at making. But I really do feel like this is the mechanized stuff. And that does make sense in dehumanization. Transhumanism, I think, is what they call, the whole new thing with the AI and people blending with computers and all of this, which would also take away our humanity to some degree. But I think that is a part of what is being shown here. Then the energy moves forward, and we end up at a Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups, what am I seeing here? I mean, it's drawing board energy, right? It's like moving forward to something that is kind of being created from scratch. It's interesting that we actually have two eights and two sevens here. 8877. Time will tell on what that's talking about. I'm going to pull one more on the Seven of Cups. And it's the Ace of Swords. Now, these two together, the Ace of Swords is really about taking full responsibility and therefore having full control. It is probably talking about aggressive energy, and here it's like aggressively creating a new platform, like a new world or whatever. And the Chariot is just very specifically moving toward that point. All right. So, what would this new world look like? What is it that they're trying to create? And the reverse Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune itself is destiny. The reversed Wheel of Fortune would be like a really bad destiny. Now, okay, since this energy is anti-human, it just is, right? Um, what is its source? Like, where does it come from? Is this some fucking alien shit or what? You know, it doesn't seem like humans could be capable of birthing this sort of thing. But what do we get? We get the lovers. All right. The lovers is a shared commitment. No, I guess I'll put one on either side of the lovers to see what is it the shared commitment between. The devil. All right. And the King of Pentacles. So, the crooked businessman, and I mean the fucking devil. So, this, what it's literally showing is a deal with evil that is made by crooked businessmen, rich people. Now, this makes a lot of sense. And now, this same energy is fueling all of this stuff that is trying to make us believe that genocide is okay, that it's deserved in some cases. And that is so fucked up. Like I can't even believe that it is happening. Okay. Now, where do we go from here? So, let's look at this. Whoop. I just want to get some idea as to when this partnership was created. Was this created at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution? Was this created at the beginning of money? Or was it created before that? And what we get is a Two of Cups. Um, the two, that's interesting because the Two of Cups is the short term. It's like the drop of the ocean that is the lovers. The Two of Cups is the same energy as the lovers, but the two is just about a moment or a day, right? And the lovers is this massive commitment as these two energies blend on a larger scale. So, as far as when did this partnership happen, I mean, the Two of Cups would say anytime there was a crooked businessman and the devil, it would have happened repeatedly over and over again. Okay, now here's the question. Can it be stopped? Okay, so we have a reversed Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is harvesting energy that has been growing over a long period of time. It kind of happens impulsively, but really the plan had been laid there. You know, it's like harvesting crops that you had grown over a season. Now, when this thing turns upside down, it is hesitation. Now, it could be that, I mean, like in the case of this attack that happened recently in Russia. So these people who carried it out were paid. Actually, they weren't even paid yet. They were promised to be paid for this attack by some mysterious person. right, who is going to pay them like roughly 5,000 US dollars to do what they did, to murder hundreds of just people who were going to a concert. Now, on some level, there has to be a part of them that would hesitate or stop or not do it, right? I mean, it's like maybe you get up there and you got your gun or whatever, and then you think, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe this is fucking wrong. Let's just see what is connected to this. Oh, geez, a whole bunch of them just fell on the ground. And we get the Emperor reversed. So this is hesitation. And the reversed Emperor is pretty much being controlled. The Emperor is having control over your situation, right? And the Emperor is also projecting energy. So it's sending energy out into the world, creating the wave, so to speak. And the Emperor reversed is kind of allowing yourself to be controlled. In this case, I think the reversed emperor is really talking about submission. So when you get to the point that, your life has gotten to the point that you're about to murder hundreds of people for $5,000, then you can submit to some higher power or something else. Like instead of doing this thing, it's about submission. I'm going to pull as soon as I pick these up off the ground. I'm going to pull another one on this just to kind of be clear of what we're looking at with this reversed emperor. Whoops. And once again, we have this Eight of Pentacles. Huh. And on the bottom is this Eight of Cups. Well, with these two that show up here, I think in today's world that it would be very difficult, just with the flow of how today's world is. I mean, depending on where you live, but just this sort of industrial going to work, working some shit job that you don't care about, just so you can continue to live. Or like people in the economically ruined places, they wish they had a shit job to go to, but they don't have anything, right? So in the economically ruined places, then you pretty much turn to crime. In this case, in the Russia case, they were offered $5,000, a little over 5,000, like 5,200, to murder all of these people. But there might be something about this sort of industrial thing that happens in the eight that maybe separates us from the thing that would tell us not to do that. Okay. How can a person sort of erase this effect? And we get the tower. Wow. So this is the structure. It's the restriction that gets blown up. I mean, the tower would essentially show a collapse of the system. And, arguably that is probably happening. But the tower is like a collapse of the system or of something that is holding us back. Now, how does just a person save themselves from this environment? I mean, we would definitely have to get out of these walls. We would have to get out of the thing that was restricting us. And if it's this kind of, you know, fabrication sort of deal. I mean, I just figured like a factory job or something, like whatever the grind is that takes us away from ourselves. Actually, I'm going to look at that. What is it that's being robbed? I mean, you could say connection to spirit or connection to God or whatever, but a lot of these people are religious fundamentalists, and they think they have a connection to God. And God doesn't tell people to kill each other, right? So, what is it that is being robbed through this? And the Fool is what comes out. So, the Fool has no fear and no expectation. The Fool is just absolutely open to whatever is happening around them, like someone on the first day of school. So, a sense of wonder is probably the thing that is being robbed, and also just being open, just like being open to where you are and what the world has to offer. So, I guess within ourselves, one of the things that we could do to insulate ourselves from this fucking demonic energy would be to just look around with a sense of wonder and like try to be open to the world that we're actually in and what it has for us. Okay, now I'm going to go back to that devil card. So, what are we looking at there? With that devil, are we looking at a spiritual entity, or are we looking at maybe just the shitty tendencies of humanity in general? What is it? And the King of Wands, it's interesting. The King of Wands and the King of Swords is here on the bottom. The King of Wands is the role model, the father figure. And the King of Swords is like the military leader. But as it relates to this devil, I think what it's talking about is literally the kings. So this would be putting maybe one person in charge of a whole bunch of stuff that they don't necessarily have anything to do with or shouldn't be in charge of. And they say, absolute power corrupts absolutely. An additional thing that I've noticed about this combination is you've got the King of Swords here and the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is just basically a family man doing some normal family people stuff. And behind him is the King of Swords. The King of Wands isn't thinking about or looking at the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is just back there and could either attack him or order him to attack at any point. This is like militaristic people with weapons, and then just regular people that are trying to live their lives. Now, is there even an alternative to this? Or has there ever been one? And there's the devil. Okay, well, I'm open. I'm open to hearing what anyone else thinks about this. So, is there an alternative to this kingship fucking world that we live in? And we get the devil. So, wow. I mean, I'm just interested to hear any thoughts that anyone has on this. I don't even know what to ask. I would like to hear that too. Like, what other angles would you like me to look at this from? Or what other questions do you have about this whole state of affairs? And what do you make of this? That's what we have here. Peace. Is this the end of days where lava fill the bays? I'm gonna grab some tarot cards, let's see what they say. Who controls the press? Was Will Smith possessed? Let's shuffle up the cards and we'll see. And what about the freaking aliens? Whatever could they be? Let's ask the cards and see. Come on to my Patreon. It's only $5.